Former U.S. Ambassador Joseph Wilson gave a talk at the University of Baltimore on November the 14th. He directed some of his most scathing remarks to columnist Robert Novak and to the indicted White House aide, Libby. Now, here is ex-Ambassador Wilson in his own words.
We talk about Bob Novak very much because he's basically, in my judgment, a pawn in somebody else's hand. He's just a tool in somebody else's hand. A despicable tool, to be sure. And it's not likely he will break bread in my house. But I'll say this, I think the chances are pretty good. In fact, I think it's almost certain that the reason Novak doesn't figure prominently in the indictment or in any discussion is that when he was sitting across the table from Pat Fitzgerald in that first interview, he probably sang like a canary. He told Mr. Fitzgerald everything he wanted to hear. Because if he had asserted his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination, my Justice Department friends tell me that the prosecutor would have offered him immunity and compelled his testimony in exchange for immunity. Not invited, but compelled his testimony in exchange for immunity. And had he suggested that he too had a First Amendment right to protect his source, much as Mr. Cooper and Ms. Miller did, the chances are that he would have been in that litigation as well. So it's generally believed that he basically wilted at first contact with Pat Fitzgerald. Now, again, I find Bob Novak to be a despicable character, but I leave the descriptions of him to my good friend Jon Stewart, the host of the Daily Show. The best news in town. As I tell my friends at Fox News, when I say I'm not going to do Fox News anymore, if I'm going to do fake news, I'm going to do the Daily Show. About 3 times a week, Jon Stewart refers to Mr. Novak. And I used to actually quote Jon Stewart and what he said about Bob Novak, but my wife told me that she found it a little too vulgar for her taste. So I no longer say that Jon Stewart refers to Bob Novak as a douchebag. I just don't say it anymore. My wife wouldn't. Now, with respect to Judy Miller, was she trying to protect Cheney? It's just all too murky for me to try and figure out. I'm basically trying to just really talk about the fact that she spent 85 days in jail because Libby was too cowardly to step forward and accept responsibility for his own actions. And this is a man who has a title of assistant to the President of the United States. This is a man who swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. He is now being accused of having impeded a federal investigation. That's in and of itself a violation of his oath of office. I find him really a slime ball. And the fact that he would go after my wife, first of all, and then allow Judy Miller to spend 85 days in jail. And then now he says that he wants to clear his good name. This is a serial abuser. Okay? Other than that, I have very few strong views to see. But these are all campaigns by these people basically to try and spring Libby, who, as I said earlier, is a real scumbag. But I don't know how else you fight than to get in there and fight. And to confront schoolyard bullies who are absolutely determined to destroy me personally, my integrity, my wife, her integrity, our character, our lives. And if you don't stand up and fight for that, what the hell are you going to stand up and fight for? Now, in the end, it also is a fight for how we conduct the debate in the public square. That's what this is all about. And are we as Americans going to take this? I mean, these guys are brown shirts. It's essentially what we're talking about here. We are talking about a small group of people who masquerade as Republicans, but are not Republicans at all. They are radicals.